Hey, how you doing? Marty Mouche here for Pillars of Health and Wealth. Today we're going to talk about three ingredients that you might find on food labels that you absolutely would like to avoid. We'll talk about some of the effects these ingredients have and what types of products you might find with these ingredients. But real quick, before we get started, if you get a chance, click subscribe, hit that bell notification, and that way you'll be updated with more videos when I come out with videos on business, fitness, how to grow a healthier lifestyle, and how to grow a healthier wallet. Okay, so thanks for joining me. All right, so our first ingredient we're going to talk about is probably one of the most common ones, and I think most people probably are aware of this, but this one is called high fructose corn syrup. Okay, high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup was actually made as a cheaper alternative to sugar. And what they do is they take corn and they ferment corn, make it into cornstarch, and that cornstarch then ferments into a syrup, right? They put enzymes in and it helps enzymes digest, and byproduct is this corn syrup. Now, it has been shown that countries that allow corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, in their products actually have a 20% higher obesity rate. Right, so if you already know that sugar is probably your number one enemy to metabolic disease, obesity, and a lot of chronic issues that happen with inflammation in your body, high fructose corn syrup is like it's like the crazy cousin, right? It's the crazy cousin. So if you're avoiding sugar, you definitely want to avoid high fructose corn syrup. Okay. Take a look at your labels. You'll be surprised how many products actually have high fructose corn syrup. And a little hint, the labels on your food ingredients, if high fructose corn syrup is one of the last ingredients on there, it means there's a minimal amount, right? If high fructose corn syrup is one of the first three ingredients on the list of ingredients, it means it's one of the top three abundant ingredients in that list. So your ingredient labels always list the ingredients most to least, right? So if you see high fructose corn syrup as your number one, guess what? That's your highest percentage of ingredient in that product, okay? Take a look at something out of your cupboard. Pull something out of your cupboard. Take a look at, drop a comment below. Let me know, what did you find that has high fructose corn syrup in it? I'm curious to see how many people actually caught something that they were surprised about, right? Leave a comment. Let me know what you found. So our first warning ingredient, our first ingredient we want to make sure we avoid is high fructose corn syrup, okay? All right, second one. You guys have probably all heard of this, and this is a mouthful. This is called partially hydrogenated oils, right? Or in other words, trans fat. This is the bad fat, right? This is the fat that causes arterial clogging, plaque in the veins and arteries, right? Anytime you see the word hydrogenated, it's been through a process. We do not want to consume foods that were processed, especially oil, all right? Because oils can be very, very good for you in its natural state, right? And not all oils are good for you, but many oils are good for you. Olive oil, grapeseed oil, There's a bunch out there that we'll save for another day. But anytime we see hydrogenated, right, it's been taken through a process and it's been heated at some point in time and it's been mixed with other chemicals. And it's to change the consistency of the oil. So trans fat are the bad fats, right? These are the fats that we want to avoid. So take a look at some of your labels at home. Go next time you're in the store, pick up a package, whatever your normal snack is, right? Take a look at, does it have high fructose corn syrup? Does it have partially hydrogenated oil or trans fat? And take a look at the grams of fat on there. What percentage of your total fat comes from trans fat? All right, that's going to give you a pretty good idea of how high of ingredient this is in your food product. Okay, so our first ingredient was high fructose corn syrup, made from cornstarch, right? It's just broken down into a liquid sugar. Number two, partially hydrogenated oil or trans fat, right? Bad fat, artery cloggers, definitely don't want that. And then the last one we're going to talk about, our third one, and I'm sure everyone is very familiar with this, and this has probably been the biggest, enemy of weight loss for most of my clients and a lot of people that just aren't aware, right? So I'm here to help you be aware of what you're putting in your body. It's an artificial sweetener, right? Aspartame, right? Aspartame. So aspartame, check this out. All right, this fact blew my mind when I was researching this a little bit more, just to give you guys more info. 75% of adverse effects cases reported to the FDA were a result of the use of aspartame. 75% of the cases that were reported to the FDA with people with adverse effects resulted from the abundant use of aspartame, the artificial sweetener. Okay, that fact blew my mind, and I thought it's worth sharing. What's crazy is we use aspartame in different products to replace sugar, right? And usually trying to lose weight, replacing sugar, we won't get the calories. But here's the kicker. You know, when you are digesting sugar, your insulin spikes, right? Insulin shoots up, and your insulin regulates your blood sugar, right? You're not getting the calories from aspartame, but aspartame will still spike your insulin. You are still going to have the same effect on your insulin levels with aspartame than you would with sugar, right? If sugar is natural, and don't get me wrong, sugar is processed. Most table sugar is processed, like that fine white stuff that we find on the table. That's processed sugar. Now there's rock sugar, right? You see the hard granulated sugar, that's more of natural stated sugar. But aspartame, 75% of the cases reported to FDA that have negative health effects comes from the use of aspartame. And there's a whole slew of side effects from aspartame. So check this out. There's some of the things that we're going to get from aspartame. GI distress, right? Upset stomach. There's different kinds of cancers, and specifically brain cancer. All right, it's shown that aspartame has led to brain cancer. I mean, there's a whole plethora of headaches. Right? Muscle aches. Dizziness. Trouble focusing. Trouble sleeping. I mean, the list goes on, and I can keep going with this, but I'm not gonna just keep on beating a dead horse. I think you guys get the idea. All right, so aspartame originally was used as a healthy alternative for sugar to replace the calories and the negative effects of sugar. However, all you're doing is taking away the calories, right? You're taking away the energy portion of the sugar, the only thing that could probably be valuable, if anything, and you're still getting that insulin response where your body spikes its insulin up and then crashes, and you still get that fatigue, you still get that crash, and you still get a craving to want more. That's the other thing. Aspartame is addictive. It's as addictive as sugar, and it's actually a little bit sweeter than sugar. You know, I know for a fact that there are several people that I have encountered, either clients, friends, family members, who were just so used to having 2 or 3 Diet Cokes or Diet Pepsis a day that they had a tough time quitting it. They had a tough time getting away from those habits of drink because they are addicted, right? But they also had a lot of chronic fatigue. They also had a lot of chronic problems with joints and muscle aches, and problems physically feeling weird, as they would put it, feeling like not themselves. This is all a result of the artificial sweetener aspartame, and this is just one of them. A lot of artificial sweeteners carry a lot of the same effects, but not as much as aspartame does, right? So, in summary, we talked about the 3 ingredients I want you guys to kind of keep your eyes open for, right? High fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, or what we call trans fat, and then the last one, aspartame. Okay, these are some of the 3 biggest offenders in ingredients in which we want to look out for. There's a whole slew of them. There's a whole list of them, and what we'll end up doing is going over these at a later date. I figure I'll let you digest these for now. So drop me a comment and let me know if there's something on here that you got out of this, if you benefited at all from this, if you learned something from it. If you have any questions, please drop a comment, ask me a question. I welcome them. And take a look in your cupboard at some of the food packages you have. Let me know what you found. Let me know what you found that surprised you, right? Something that absolutely surprised you, that you didn't think had one of these 3 things, that are maybe two of these 3, or maybe all, right? Once we get used to reading labels and get in the habit, we're more aware of what we're putting in our body. Awareness is key, okay? So again, click subscribe if you haven't yet. Please like this video. If you got something out of it, drop me a comment. And I thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to the next time we get to talk. On our next video, we are going to talk about technique, one of my favorite exercises. Okay, so stay tuned. Look out for that one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a good one.